The second week of Guardian Games has started earlier this week, which brought along another strike for players to conquer for a high score. As I did last week, I wanted to do a solo guide on how to get a score that is high enough to place you in the top 10% echelon of players. I will say that this week's strike is much more difficult than last week, so if you are doing this solo, be prepared for this to be much more difficult. However, I'm going to be sharing my loadout, strategies, and tips, which includes a big piece of advice to boost your score easily to get a high score. So with that being said, I'm SniperKH, and let's dive into the video. Let's open up with loadouts. I've found that running the following loadout made this strike much more bearable. For primary, I ran Izanagi's Burden for burst DPS on the tank and Tormentor. For my secondary, I ran an Unstoppable Scout Rifle for a consistent way of taking down unstopped champions. For heavy weapons, I found running Commemoration was a great idea, as it does well for adds and can spawn in a relatively consistent flow of heavy ammo thanks to Breaks from Beyond. When it comes down to the subclass, I ran my Void Hunter build, which is your typical Gerfalcon Hunter build. The main difference with this build was that I ran the Fragment Echo of Obscurity for invisibility when I went for finishers. If you don't want to do this on Hunters, then no worries, as Starfire Protocol Warlocks and Strand Titans will treat you right in the strike. I have build guides for those options in the description below as well, so feel free to check them out if need be. Finally, for mods, run solar resistant mods to try and not get shit on by these things. And with that being said, let's now dive into the strategy. Okay, let's talk about the strategy for getting a high score. Similarly to last week, you'll need to get Vanguard medals to boost your score. While last week's strategy was to use weapons to get streaks, I found that getting insult to injury medals was never easier than doing this strike. Every bold yellow bar in this strike, which includes the champions, solar charged centurions, tormentors, and esteemed targets, which are just random yellow bar enemies throughout the strike, are able to give you insult to injury medals, hence my preference towards Void Hunters for this run. So with that knowledge, the vast majority of this run is going to be going for insult to injury medals and spree medals, while also trying to move fast, as exceeding 20 minutes will cause you to start losing points slowly, and at 23 minutes you'll no longer gain points but will continue to lose points. Now that that has been covered, let's get into the walkthrough. When starting the strike, get a free spree medal from all of the small adds, and then weaken the esteemed Colossus. Once the Colossus is weakened, get an insult to injury medal and move on. When you're outside, sit back and wait for the Thresher and destroy it immediately, or else it will drop you fast. Once the Thresher is dead, use your LMG to take out adds for spree medals, and once again, weaken the esteemed enemies and the champion. Take down the champion first, then the esteemed enemies, while getting finishers if possible. Once all adds are dead, take the man lift and kill the two gladiators while getting a finisher on the esteemed phalanx. From there, push up, get spree medals on the squishy adds, then take down the champion and gladiators. From there, move on to the last area in this section. You want to start off by taking out the group of adds on the right to clear it up for when you bring the solar charge. Kill the adds and get an insult to injury medal on the champ, then move over to the centurion where you can also get an insult to injury medal on them. Take the charge and dunk it. Before you go and kill adds, take down the Thresher to avoid easy deaths. From there, take out the squishy adds, then weaken the champion and esteemed enemies and get insult to injury medals, and from there, move on. When you make it outside, get an easy medal on the legionnaires and phalanx outside, and then take down the Thresher. Once the Thresher is down, kill adds as you push forward towards the small bunker. Once you arrive at the bunker, kill the small adds, then get an insult to injury medal on the champ. From there, get spree medals on the adds and kill the centurion, in which you should then dunk the charge. After dunking the charge, kill the group of adds, get an insult to injury medal on the champ, and push forward. Kill the sniper on the left, then weaken and finish the esteemed enemies, in which you should then kill and dunk the charge. Once the charge is dunked, move on. In the tank room, run to the right side and kill the gladiators here since the tank won't have a good angle on you. From there, kill the snipers on the right side and then kill the tank. Once the tank is dead, push towards the left stairs and kill the adds funneling out of the left door, while being sure to get a finisher on the champ. Once you've made it to the 2 flights of stairs, be sure to clear out all of the adds here, then scan the panel. Doing so will spawn in some war beasts behind you, so kill them and then turn around and deal with the Tormentor. I fired 4 honed edge Izanagi shots in order to weaken it for a finisher, but weaken it as you will. Once the Tormentor is weak, back down the 2nd flight of stairs where the barrier champ came from earlier, then kill the adds spawning here. Once the Tormentor gets close, get an insult to injury medal, and then kill the rest of the adds, then move on. In the elevator room, jump up to the right side, kill adds, then get an insult to injury medal on the unstopped. From there, slowly push forward, killing adds and Scorpius turrets, and weakening the esteemed enemy and champ. Once the adds are dead, get a finisher on the champ and esteemed enemy, then scan the panel, and kill the adds that spawn in from there. Once the ads are dead, hop on the elevator to move on. For the boss fight, you should immediately retreat to the structure behind the elevator and take the Scorpius turrets down from a safe distance. Once the turrets are down, damage Zahn until he jumps onto the right tower, but don't health gate him immediately. From there, kill the newly spawned ads, then health gate him. Once he's health gated, you're going to want to kill the Centurion for the solar charge and take a safe path to dunk it. From there, rinse and repeat the same process of health gating Zahn. It's worth noting that when Zahn is damage gated, you will want to stay away from the right side of the bridge that Zahn was on when the fight started, since this is where the drop pods land, and it will kill you if you are not paying attention. Once the Centurion spawn, kill it, dunk the charge, and kill Zahn. Doing all of this should give you a high score, high enough for top 10% echelon. Well, that will wrap up this video. If you found it helpful, then consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel for more Destiny 2 content dropping every week. If you have a question regarding this run or anything Destiny related, then drop a comment or stop by my streams that happen right here on YouTube. Finally, follow me on all my social media platforms linked below. With that being said, I'm SniperKH, and I'm out. Good luck with gaming.